to improve your quality of life. So, whether you're newly diagnosed, have been living with Parkinson's for years, or caring for a loved one,
when Parkinson's gets real, find real answers at the Parkinson's Foundation.
go to parkinson.org or call our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO, 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
When you need to talk, we're here for you. Always have been. News Radio KDKA.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 46 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 13 people have been displaced from their homes after a fire broke out this morning in Allentown. Now, public safety says that the fire crews were called to the 1500 block of Arlington Avenue for a house fire, but that house was unoccupied. Another house caught fire, and in total, 13 people have been displaced. No injuries have been reported. No injuries reported following a sizable house fire in McKees Rocks. That fire broke out Saturday afternoon around 4:45 at a home in the 300 block of Olivia Street. The right side of that home was charred by fire. Again, no injuries in that fire. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office ruled the death of a 2-year-old a homicide. Sarah Dargy was found unresponsive back on April 7th at a home in the 100 block of McClellan Drive in Pleasant Hills. She died at UPMC Children's Hospital 3 days later. Medical examiner said Dargy died from ligature compression of the neck. That's a type of strangulation. No charges have been filed as of yet, but Allegheny County Police are investigating. A United Airlines flight from Chicago to New York made an emergency landing at Pittsburgh International Airport Saturday morning due to a possible security issue. When the plane landed around 11:45 Saturday morning, many passengers quickly evacuated via the emergency slides. There were 159 passengers and 6 crew members on board. FBI Pittsburgh office sent its special agent bomb techs and special agents to the scene, and the Allegheny County Police Bomb Squad said its explosive ordnance disposal team and canines conducted a sweep of the plane, passengers, and luggage with, quote, negative results. No injuries reported. KDKA Radio News Time, 11:02. We have the AccuWeather forecast for your Sunday next.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Independence Health System has joined the Center for Organ Recovery, CORE, in celebrating National Donate Life Month and is encouraging people to register to become organ and tissue donors. A single donor could save 8 lives and positively impact hundreds more. Nationally, more than 100,000 people are waiting for an organ transplant, including 7,000 in Pennsylvania and over 500 in West Virginia. This April, help Independence Health System and CORE save lives. Sign up to become an organ, tissue, and cornea donor at core.org/register.
Who says vaping is safer than cigarettes? Science does not support that belief. Vapes can contain a variety of chemicals, flavoring agents, cancer-causing elements, and other harmful substances. High levels of nicotine in some vapes can be more likely to lead to addiction, and chemical ingredients are not always listed accurately on vaping packages. Vaping can also damage your DNA, your heart, your lungs, and even your smile. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Windy and cool this afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine along with a spotty shower, high 52. A couple of showers around tonight which may mix with some wet snowflakes late, low 33. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Ka Erickson on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
All right, it is your Pratt Pack. We begin the first of 2 hours of the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, and in that Metropolitan Window video screen where you can see him and hear it stream live is the former head baseball coach at the University of Pittsburgh, Joe Giordano, now with the incredible brand in the Sunshine State of Florida, IMG Academy. So the Pirates, Joe, good to see you again. They lost a tough one yesterday, but they are doing rather well, 12 wins on the season. But let's talk about some of the basics. You know, Connor Griffin had a miscue this week. We've seen some miscues from O'Neal Cruz, although what he's doing with the bat kind of makes up for all of that. The basic fundamentals in baseball, base running and other aspects of the game, we've talked about it before. So where and when did this stuff start to fall off the baseball mat to where now we're seeing it on a regular basis in the big leagues? I mean, there was a time that you didn't even think about the infield or outfield because it was pretty much routine. It was always what they could do for you at the plate. So just your thoughts on the routine baseball plays that don't seem to be so routine anymore. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good to be with you again, Rob. I will tell you that, you know, when you think about the game of baseball, it's a lot of it is routine. It's not, that 90% of it is just executing the simplest things. Catch the ball, throw the ball, catch the ball, swing the bat, deliver a pitch. And there are many times at the professional level, it seems, that they just get more and more away from the repetitions because it's so comfortable and they're so good. But it always goes back, at least it was for me, and the way I used to think about it is when you get off a little track, go back to square one and get those reps. Just keep repeating it over and over again.
So let me ask you, do you think some of it has to do with the modern era of technology, social media, so many news and sports outlets? And in the old days, it was just a beat reporter for the local paper and that 11 o'clock newscast. But now, so many things are being hoisted upon these young athletes, plus they all have that computer in their hand and they're doing social media themselves, that sometimes they can lose focus, like losing the ball in the sun. Just for a split second, you take your eye off the ball, it can go wrong. So what about all of the extra stuff that athletes have at their fingertips and also things they have to handle today?
Well, it's not only what's at their fingertips, it's what the reaction to how they play every day. And I was talking to one of my former assistants, Rich Pasquale, who's down on our staff here at IMG Academy. And we were talking about the fact that one thing goes wrong in a game and it's really exploded over to a level like, oh, this is a crisis. And it really is just, it was routine. Guys are going to make mistakes. Guys are going to swing and miss. They're going to get into some slumps. They're going to make an error. But when you collectively look at, the pressure, like you're saying, everything that is wrong, it's instant and there's comments everywhere, and that adds a level of pressure that is, I'm sure they can handle it, but completely unnecessary.
So I was watching a documentary earlier today on the NHL Network. We're only going to have you for one segment today because we have a lot of hockey stuff we want to get to. Pens losers, game 1, 3-2 last night. Malcolm and Russ got the goals for the Pens, and they got a must-win tomorrow night against Philadelphia. But Howard Baldwin, who I remember back in the days with Mario, and he's done more than make movies. He was with the Hartford Whalers, the World Hockey Association, Gordie Howe, all that good stuff. And it was also the era that ESPN began through that whole corridor of the United States. And one of the things that I remember, one of the first times that an athlete actually was frustrated when Ken Griffey Jr., obviously with the Denora roots, actually called ESPN one night because he wasn't happy with something. So if I'm a player or you're a manager, do you tell your player, or does the manager take time to say, look, try to stay away from all of the outside noise? The thing you don't want to do if you have a bad game, you go 0 for 4, you have a couple of errors or whatever, you don't want to watch these highlights over and over and over again. I think, and I do this in my business, I stay within my lanes, whether it's news, whether it's sports, whether it's home improvement, whatever I'm doing, I try to focus solely on that and how I can be better. It's not so much about what I did yesterday or just an hour ago, but it's what I can make better moving forward. What do you think, Skip?
Be where your feet are. Right now, right here, right now. That's what you control. And you're absolutely right. There's so much out of it. And listen, I experienced when I was at Pitt. I'd have a big win and, I'd glance at something and somebody's complaining that I took a pitcher out too early, or, he can't recruit here and he doesn't do this. And finally get to the point is, you're not going to satisfy everybody. But if you're controlling your area of influence, which is the closest to you, go out and play baseball and ignore the things that really don't matter in the big picture.
Well, I'm real happy with what the Pirates are doing. So let's talk about some of the positives. Mitch Keller's going to go today. They wrap it up against Tampa Bay. Day off tomorrow. Then they head to Texas, who is 11-10 on the year, as they got a whole new regime there as well. But honestly, what O'Neal Cruz is doing at the plate, not to say that we expected it, but boy, is it not nice to see.
It is fantastic. And, it's showing that potential and growing into it and seeing it develop on the field. But one thing I wanted to mention, Rob, that I was pretty vocal about in our preseason hype is the fact that the Pirates, it's a mindset when you take a two-strike approach or go opposite way and really battle hard. And I saw a stat on Tuesday's game. The graphic was the Pirates lead the major leagues in opposite field hits. And I was like, there you go. We talked about that a month ago.
Yeah, absolutely. But what do you make of this young baseball team? And they are young. I mean, there's already talk about they need to extend Lau. But when you look at what they've done offensively, and now Ozuna's starting to come around a little bit, was batting 190 last night, got another long ball, kind of getting in the groove a little bit. This is a lineup that a lot of people, not just in this division, but they're going to be paying close attention to as this season moves on. They've got some real meat and potatoes in this lineup, Skip.
There's no question. And I think from the skipper's point of view, probably going to say, hey, let's just stay focused, play baseball, right? And let all of these other things from the outside, contract talks and this, that, just play baseball, one pitch at a time. Go out there, let's have some fun, let's do what we do. It seems like there's great camaraderie and chemistry in the clubhouse. And that can cure a lot of things, Rob. Believe me, when there's a comfortability in the clubhouse, good things are going to happen. And they'll be able to deal with the ups and the downs and keep things level. But there's some great leadership. There's good chemistry. I think the skipper's doing a great job. And I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Obviously, there's always room for improvement, especially when it comes to stabilizing this bullpen. But as a former baseball manager, like a hockey goaltender, because we're all thinking postseason with the Penguins, do you play the hot hand with some of the setup people as far as your bullpen? If they kind of get on a streak, do you kind of lean into them and ride the heat as long as you can? Do you think the Pirates need to find that spark? Not so much their closers, but those setup people. What about riding the hot hand with your bullpen, Skip?
Absolutely. If the guy's fresh and he's pitching with confidence and he feels good, you're definitely going to feel some comfort with that player. And there's going to be a lot of ups and downs there too. So you have to anticipate those, but keep them healthy, keep them confident, pitch to their strengths and how it matches up with your reports of your opponent, and just keep putting them in the best position with what they have as their strengths to help solidify the bullpen and get to that final out.
Last question for Joe Giordano, former Pitt coach, now at that incredible place that is IMG Academy. So what do you hope to happen moving forward? Now that we got a couple of weeks under our belt, we've seen the Pirates have these early splashes before, but as I mentioned, Tampa Bay today, off tomorrow, then Texas and Milwaukee. So consistency is what we hope to be seeing here, winning more of these series than losing them, because nice start, but you got to keep it going, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you look at it, this is the way I would look at it. Are we taking our good at-bats? We have a good approach at the plate. Situational hitting. Are we taking care of the baseball defensively? And are we pitching it? And if you do those things, again, at the basic level, and you're checking those boxes, the results are going to take care of themselves. And you saw in a couple of the losses that the Pirates had, a couple of those areas those boxes weren't checked, and you saw the results. So the Pirates have the ability and the capability of checking all those boxes every day, but so does a lot of other teams. So there's going to be games where both teams are playing well. One's going to win, one's going to lose.
All right, Skip, next week back to 2 full segments. We want to get a jump on this hockey thing and the NFL draft fast approaching too. So appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next Sunday, okay?
Snow flurries in the forecast?
Yeah. Possible freeze tonight in western Pennsylvania.
Come on down and visit.
I would love it. All right, thanks, Skip. We appreciate you. All right, Joe Giordano, IMG Academy, former Pitt Panther baseball coach. And coming up, we're going to talk Pittsburgh Penguins hockey next on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
Your source for everything that's news. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Hey, folks, my friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Scott from Aspinwall was amazed at NASCO's quality, honesty, work ethic, and superior craftsmanship. Scott loved working with NASCO and appreciated that NASCO doesn't use high-pressure sales tactics like other companies. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Scott. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps, or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. Legacybox.com/radio.
When you get a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, things get real.
And nobody understands that better than the Parkinson's Foundation. All across the country, we provide resources and support in the fight against Parkinson's, a neurological disease that affects movement.
The Parkinson's Foundation is dedicated to improving care and advancing research towards a cure.
And when you call our helpline, you'll speak to a real person who can help you find the right information. Because while living with Parkinson's can be challenging, there are things you can do to improve your quality of life. So, whether you're newly diagnosed, have been living with Parkinson's for years, or caring for a loved one,
when Parkinson's gets real, find real answers at the Parkinson's Foundation.
Go to parkinson.org or call our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO, 1-800-473-4636. The Parkinson's Foundation. Better lives together.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, here we go. Let's focus on some Penguins hockey. They let one get away from them last night. Goaltending wasn't clutch when it needed to be. Malcolm and Russ get the goals. They lose to the Flyers game 1, game 2 coming up tomorrow night. They'll drop the puck tomorrow at 7. Last night, a little bit of a later start at 8 o'clock. So the kid got one, and so did Russ, but they were a little rusty between the pipes. Couldn't get it done. Flyers strong defensively. They're young, and they are fast. Greg Diulis, good morning.
Yeah, the Flyers are a little bit scary. I was, looking forward to a great sports day yesterday with the Buccos and the Penguins, and it turned into a little bit of a flat note. But the Penguins looked okay early on. Playoffs are a lot different than the regular season. A lot of times it's defense and low scoring games. And the Pens got behind 1-0. Then they get a nice goal by Malkin. I thought, all right, they're going to be safe now. And then between flipping back and forth to the Buccos and then watching them, it just seemed like you are correct. They had decent goaltending, but not clutch goaltending, and that sometimes can be the difference in the playoffs.
Yeah, and listen, not to say that Stuart Skinner played bad. He didn't. But Vladar, really very impressive last night as far as Philadelphia is concerned. But the great thing about this, it's hockey at its best. It is one of the greatest rivalries in the history of sports.
Yeah, and it's great because of a rekindling of something that had sort of gone away for a while. There had been not a whole lot of Pens Flyers of recent vintage, and both teams had been kind of vacant from the playoffs for a little while. So it's good to have them back and scrapping with each other. Did you happen to see Stahl and Kachuk go at it, dropping the gloves before the game even started yesterday? Not Penguin related, but still, old-fashioned hockey. I guess they were putting on the foil before the game started.
Listen, man, it's never going to be the way it was. I mean, some of those guys should have been charged with felonies back in the day, especially when the Broad Street Bullies and Dave the Hammer Schultz and Bobby Clark were playing back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. I watched something earlier, and I brought this up with Joe Giordano and kind of made a baseball analogy out of it. But Howard Baldwin, the Hartford Whalers documentary I just saw on the NHL Network, the tail end of it this morning, talking about Howard Baldwin. I just, everybody knows Howard Baldwin is a guy, self-made man, made some money, gave Mario the big $40 million plus contract from which I was there as a reporter at the old William Penn. That was a historic night. He did a lot of good things for hockey in this town. But, I didn't realize how connected to the Hartford Whalers he was and how he ended up kind of, merging the World Hockey Association, the NHL. After the Hartford Whalers, their arena collapsed. They got a new arena built. And obviously things went in a different direction. The Hartford Whalers left. But this guy was also a part of that brand that eventually started ESPN. Berman comes on early. Some of the ownership or people connected in sports in that region. So Howard Baldwin really has a lot of things to really get credit for in the world of sports and the world of entertainment, and a successful businessman.
Yeah, I did not see the documentary you're talking about, but Howard Baldwin was a movie guy, right? I
mean,
that was
Sudden
where
Impact or Sudden Death or whatever it was.
Yeah, so right. He kind of incorporated both of his worlds into that one movie.
Jean-Claude Van Damme in the old Civic Arena.
Yeah, wasn't Bruce Willis in that movie?
No, that was something totally different.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. That's okay. But, and when you think about Mario, and look, he doesn't need me to pat him on the back, but he gets promised the big bucks. That thing kind of goes in a different direction. He comes back, goes through the cancer treatments, goes through the back problems, saves it, gets involved in the organization. Obviously, Sidney comes in, then they rise to the occasion again. It's a remarkable story when you think about the Penguins and Jaromir Jagr. And I didn't realize, but that Hartford team that Baldwin was responsible for, when they finally started to turn things around, he gets a new general manager, one of the best netminders in the game, young man, 20-some years of age, is being paid like $400,000, which is phenomenal. But Alfie Samuelson and Ron Francis were a part of the Hartford Whalers way back in the day. So then they obviously ended up here in Pittsburgh with the Lemieux run in the early 90s. So hockey really is kind of a family, even though, and they were talking about Gordie Howe, who was 53, was playing for the Hartford Whalers, and how much did he meant to that team. I mean, to be playing, and he wanted to be treated like one of the young guys, very polite, very dignified. But on the ice, if you were 20, 21, or even his own sons got in his way in practice, he's checking somebody into the glass. So just a really good story. But I want to give Gary Bettman some credit, too. You know, we talk about Roger Goodell coming to town, Rob Manfred, Adam Silver. These guys really are good. But that guy's been running the NHL for 34 years. And believe me, the NHL has gone through up and downs as far as TV contracts are concerned. They've seen some great stars. They've been able to capitalize, but then sometimes they haven't. Guy's done a really good job for the NHL.
He has, and he's helped navigate through what could have been a real ugly process when they basically they were desperate for an adjustment to their collective bargaining agreement, and if they didn't get the collective bargaining agreement to change to help so that everybody could kind of even out the playing field with finances, that league was headed for disaster and maybe even being shut down completely. And through his auspices, his general leadership, it was able to redo the collective bargaining agreement between management and the Players Association, get their salaries into some form of reasonable livable arrangements. They ended up cutting salaries basically almost by a third, but it was what was necessary to keep the league alive, and now they've become able to get things back into. They're making good money now, but it's not the crazy money that you see that gets doled out in all of the other three major sports.
So how important for the big three that have been playing, 20 years together, Letang, Malcolm, and Crosby? I mean, is it solely rest on their shoulders, or is it still, the goaltenders is still defense? I mean, what happens with this team? And look, I hate to say must win. I don't like that at all, but they need to get this one tomorrow night.
Yeah, it would be very difficult. You get down two to nothing, especially in the two that were in your own building, to come back from that. That would be a difficult task. So there's a very important win tomorrow night, if not necessarily a must-win.
Listen, we're complimenting them for being in the league, 20 years playing together. Crosby knocking on the door at 40. A sidebar, last night, Game 1, Eastern Conference playoff action in the NBA, 19 points, 10 assists, and they win. 41-year-old LeBron James. That's, in basketball, 41 years of age, the most ever of anybody that age as far as assists. He's still pretty good, man.
He is. It's like he's the Energizer Bunny, just keeps on going. And he doesn't look like an old man when he's playing. He looks like he's, just one of the guys and a dominant factor in the games.
Well, if he doesn't shave his head and doesn't shave, those gray hairs are there. But he came in, these athletes come in these $20,000 suits. He comes in a denim jacket and denim jeans, and it looks like he was meant to wear that. And I wanted to go out and buy those things. All right, listen.
All right, now wait a minute. $20,000 suits? There is such an animal?
Okay, $10,000.
All right,
we'll take a short break.
I'm not going to see one.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got lots of other things to get to, including a lot on the NFL draft, and maybe something you want to check out locally. That's minutes away. It is the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & Morgan, 603 Stanwyck Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series at Heinz Hall, presented by University of Pittsburgh, announces its 26-27 season. 7 evenings to deepen your understanding of the world around you, featuring Anderson Cooper, former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, financial journalist Andrew Ross Sorkin, former NASA Administrator Charles Bolden, and the former U.S. Ambassador to China Nicholas Burns. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When it's happening, News Radio KDKA is telling you about it.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell.
To the Rooney family, to Art, to Jim Rooney, to now young Dan Rooney, they define Pittsburgh in so many ways. They represent that city in every which way with pride. And I think this draft is something that is really important to all of them and to the Steelers in general.
The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It is 47 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A United Airlines flight from Chicago to New York had to make a diversion to Pittsburgh International Airport Saturday morning due to a possible security issue. Now, when the plane landed around 11:45, many passengers quickly evacuated via emergency slides. There were 159 passengers, 6 crew members on board. The FBI Pittsburgh office sent its Special Agent Bomb Techs and Special Agents to the scene, and the Allegheny County Police Bomb Squad said its explosive ordnance disposal team and K-9s conducted a sweep of the plane, passengers, and luggage with negative results. No injuries were reported. Well, no injuries also reported following a sizable house fire in McKees Rocks. That fire broke out Saturday afternoon around 4:45 at a home in the 300 block of Olivia Street. Right side of the home was charred by fire. KDK Radio News Time, 11:31. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDK.
Brian Schlaba here from the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh. Born and raised right here. Since 2015, we've helped over 1,000 Pittsburgh homeowners sell their houses quickly and without the stress. No repairs, cleanouts, inspections, or appraisals. We give fast and fair cash offers, buy your home as is, and you choose the closing day. Visit homebuyersoffpittsburgh.com or call 412-500-9057. That's 412-500-9057.
Pittsburgh's local trusted home buyer since 2015.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
I've been burned before. I was just repeating the same patterns. It turns out I had a type.
Workplaces everywhere are looking for love. And by love, we mean the easy way to order food at work. Easy Cater.
I thought ordering from great restaurants at work had to be complicated, but then I met Easy Cater. So many options, so flexible, and when I ordered for 50 gluten-free vegans without going over budget, I knew I'd found the platform I wanted to do life and lunch with.
Fall in love with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
A passing shower or two this afternoon, otherwise clouds and sunshine, windy and cool, high 52. Mostly cloudy tonight with a couple of showers, even a snow shower later on, low 33. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Ka Erickson on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, get through the weekend, be back on Monday. But, when we launch on Monday, it'll be draft week. So I'll catch you then on Monday. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6, KDK.
I got to tell you, if I wasn't down at the Rivers Casino this Wednesday cheering on Jason Aldean with the good folks here at Odyssey, I'd be with these folks in Beaver Falls at the Hall of Achievement. Larry Bruno, of course, the magical coach. He, of course, the coach of Joe Namath. They have a big tailgate, big draft party going to be happening on 7th Avenue in and outside that building. All sorts of free food and goodies. And Steve Higgins joins us now, Metropolitan Window video screen, where you can see it and hear it stream live by clicking on KDKRadio.com. So before we talk about the fun and festivities that you're going to be having, you ended up playing in Alabama. You had a cup of coffee with the University of Pittsburgh. But as a young man in Beaver Falls and Kevin Scanlon throwing you the football in the mid-'70s, did you ever dream about maybe someday following in the footsteps of Joe and Tiger Joe Walton and playing in the National Football League, Stevie?
Oh, you kidding me, Rob? Everybody, all the kids in Beaver Falls, that's what Joe gave us. He gave us a beacon to reach for, and we all dreamed of those kind of things in the future. Some of us got to do it. Scanlon ended up getting drafted in 1980. He was actually Mr. Irrelevant. He was drafted the last draft by the Rams that year. It was my quarterback in high school. But, yeah, we all dreamed of that, and that's what we could thank Joe for. He gave us that hope.
Listen, before Greg jumps in here, I've known you for a while, and you've been doing such a great job with me on all these social media videos, and we've really been having a great time promoting this place. And if you've not seen it, this would be a great opportunity to go down and enjoy some free food and conversation and see some of the greatest memorabilia anywhere this side of the Mississippi. But if you love sports, you love football, you're going to want to be there. But you're a guy that loves history, and now as I'm looking at you in the Metropolitan Window video screen, over your shoulder is a portrait of the first president of the United States of America, George Washington. So you really love history, do you not?
Oh, I really do, Rob. And that's why this event is falling right into my lap, because we're co-sponsoring. This event is co-sponsored by the Beaver County Tourism Department for the 250 project for 250th anniversary. So part of our event we're having, it has to do with history. And how fitting that an event like this would be held in Beaver County, because, Rob, no other county in the nation has contributed to the history of the NFL like Beaver County has. I mean, you kidding me? Just Aliquippa and Beaver Falls alone, you could write a book about it, okay? But, I mean, just the things that happened in this county helped mold the history of the NFL. And I could throw a few examples out to you, right off the cuff, if you want.
Yeah, do it.
Well, the very first, now you see father-son coaches and father-son players in the NFL. Did you realize the very first father-son NFL football players were from Beaver County?
Mm-mm.
I'll throw another one at you. The very first father-son coaches in NFL history are from Beaver County.
I didn't know that. Didn't know that.
All right. We have a participant in the greatest, probably two of the greatest games that were ever played. Most important games ever played in the NFL was the 1958 championship game between the Colts and the Giants in Super Bowl III. We've had starters in both games, contributors. Not only contributors, Jimmy Mutchler in the 58 game, he caught the pass to put Amici on the 1 yard line to go over for the win.
Wow.
Okay. And we haven't even talked about Super Bowl III yet. You guys all know that story.
Yeah, Joe Namath, right?
Also, in the history of the NFL, there's only been one high school coach that has been a presenter in Canton at the Hall of Fame, and that is my coach, Larry Bruno, when he represented Joe Willie. To this day, he's the only high school coach to ever do that. I mean, we haven't even got to Aliquippa yet with all their Hall of Fame players, the most ever from a high school. This county has helped form that league, big time. So it's so fitting that we're having this event for the draft. I mean, we're so excited about this, not only for Beaver Falls, but for Beaver County.
It's big. All right. Tell me about this event. Then I know Greg's got a couple of questions, but I want everybody to make some notes here, even if it has to be mental notes, because you're going to want to be a part of this. I mean, not everybody can make it downtown, but if you really want to get a feel of what it's all about, please make sure that you get to this event on 7th Avenue in Beaver Falls Wednesday. Go ahead, Stevie.
Well, it's going to kick off at 12 noon, okay? And what we're doing is what the main gist of the whole thing was to attract out-of-town fans in town for the draft. And what other place to have it for, we reached out to the Jets, Rob, and we said, hey, we're having this party in the greatest Jet ever's hometown. Can you, help us, whatever. Unfortunately, we didn't hear back from them. So we said, you know what? There's 31 other teams in this league. We're going to try to attract fans from out of town that are in town a little early, looking for something to do before Thursday, because we realize everyone Thursday will be concentrating on the north side. So we thought, hey, let's have this get together on Wednesday. We'll try to attract out of town fans in. And because, we're a lot more than just Joe Namath, as you know. We have Colt veterans, Giant veterans, Redskin veterans. So Viking, we've had players from all teams, the Jets, everybody. So we're going to try to attract out-of-town visitors in for the draft, as well as local visitors. We're going to give away Jet jerseys, Namath throwback jerseys. Every hour, we're going to pull a name, and we're going to give jerseys away. Free food and refreshments for everyone that shows up. Now, the great thing about this, Rob, is the whole town is getting involved, okay? So businesses on the main street of 7th Avenue are all going to be participating in their own way. Bars and restaurants are all having drink and food specials. Okay, the mayor has pitched in. We just have a streetscape project going on, and God bless them. They put us first on the list, so our street would be complete for this event. So a shout out to Kenya Johns, the mayor of Beaver Falls, for her help, and the whole town's pitching in, guys. And we're really excited. We can't wait.
All right, Greg, jump in here,
guys.
Man.
Be a little bit more specific as far as the location of this, because from a Pittsburgh guy who's been through Beaver County and Beaver Falls, tell me exactly where people would go to find this, especially out of towners. You're going to take what is it, 376 in that direction? What exit? How do you get there?
Well, we're 30 miles northwest of Pittsburgh. There's two easy routes, easy ones to get here. There's a lot of ways, but 376 west will take you right into, if you stay on it the whole way past the airport, all the way into Chippewa. You're 5 minutes from downtown. You can also take Route 65, Ohio River Boulevard, to get to Beaver County. And you can also take I-279 to the Cranberry area and come down over the hill into Beaver County that way. Okay, so we're about a 30-minute drive from the north side. We're located right in the heart of Beaver Falls on the main street. Our address is 1112 7th Avenue, and we're on the east side of the main street coming from Pittsburgh. It'd be the right side, and we're located right in the middle of town. We have a big sign above our museum with Coach Bruno, Joe Namath, and Candy Young, very visible. They're kind of like our Mount Rushmore for Beaver Falls. So we have them up there, and it's easy to find. So, it's pretty convenient to Pittsburgh. There's a lot of ways to get down there, but 376, Ohio River Boulevard, and I-279 might be, for out-of-towners, might be the best way to get down to Beaver County.
Hey, Stevie, I got a question for you. So when Joe Namath was playing, did he not wear white shoes? Was he one of the guys who would wear white?
Well,
white
not in high school.
No.
That at the end of his college career, going into the Jets. But no, he wore black spikes. I don't know if Coach Bruno would allow that back in 1960. But one cool thing that I do like that a lot of people don't know about Joe, he's famous for his hometown of Beaver Falls, and he's famous for wearing number 19 because he was a Johnny Unitas fan. But in his number 19 jersey is actually in the Hall of Fame, his high school jersey. But what I found out, which I think is a cool story, they didn't have 19 in the away jerseys when Joe played. They had white for home, orange for the road. The orange jerseys, he wore 29. So half of Joe's high school career, he wore 29. So what we're going to do at the museum, we're going to make throwback jerseys and shirts number 29 and blow people's mind. They're going to like, what's this? And that'll give us a chance to tell the story.
Now, what did he wear at Alabama? Was he 12 or 19?
Well, when he got to Bama, he wore 12.
Oh, okay.
He wore 12. Now, I don't know how he got 12 when he got to Bama. If 19 was taken, he basically did what Coach Bryant told him to do. So if Coach Bryant handed him the number 12 jersey, that's what he wore.
I'll close on this note. Other than my friend Andy Masick at the Western Pennsylvania Sports Museum at the Heinz History Center, which will be busy, there is no one that has this kind of paraphernalia and memorabilia like the Hall of Achievement, the Magical Coach Larry Bruno, 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls. We've done a lot of videos, but listen, if you can just do a little theater of the mind for the people listening, name some of your prized possessions, and believe me, take some time. It's before the whole thing happens. Take the day off from work, get there early, and enjoy it all. They're going to have free food. You're going to absolutely love this incredible place in the heart of Beaver Falls. So tell the folks what they could see or be a part of when they come on Wednesday. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, guys, I think that we have the biggest display of Joe Namath items anywhere that I have seen. When you come into our venue, you'll be able to see JV jersey that Joe wore in 10th grade in high school because his varsity jersey is in the Hall of Fame. So this is the closest thing that we could get. It's his JV jersey. We have game balls from his senior year. Now, mind you, Beaver Falls was ranked 5th nationally when Joe played. Number 1 in the state, 5th nationally, one of the best teams ever from the state of Pennsylvania. And Joe still ranks as the 5th best high school quarterback ever. So this stuff is amazing. We have all of his game films still in the original form, okay? Rob, in 1970, the Hall of Fame contacted Coach Bruno, and they knew Joe was going to end up in the Hall of Fame. They asked him to make a highlight film of Joe's senior year. We have Coach Bruno's highlight film that runs continuously. When you walk into our venue, all you have to do is look up, and you're going to see Joe Namath, one of the best high school quarterbacks ever. And I'm telling you guys, it will blow your mind. His ball handling, in his passing, his footwork, it's unparalleled how good he was, okay? We have all that early Joe Namath stuff. We have the Super Bowl Opus book that's only 400 were made. One was given to each Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl 1 through 40. Now, 40 was the year the Steelers won in Detroit when Hines Ward was the MVP. All the MVPs signed this book, including Hines Ward, Bart Starr, all of them are in there, okay? We have that book. It's the only place in the country you could see this book. It's 80 pounds, this book. That's how big it is. We have a complete case built just to hold this book. We're more than just Joe Namath. We have Olympian Candy Young. We have Jimmy Mutchler, who I mentioned before, played it for the Colts. Joe Walton, Joe Lonitz, who was the third base coach for the Pirates when they won the World Series in '79 as a Beaver Falls native. He played for the Phillies. He was a catcher. We have all these people displayed at our museum, as well as our local stuff. Now, mind you, our basketball program, top 20 in wins in the whole state of Pennsylvania, all time.
All right, listen.
Our football program. I could go on and on.
Listen, I'm going to make you do something. You're going to stick around one more segment. I'm going to prove how humble this guy is and why I love him, and I would do anything for him. He's got more passion than anybody I've ever met. But when I tell you, he mentioned this guy, Kevin Scanlon, earlier, went to play for Lou Holtz, got a chance to maybe make it to the NFL, doing extremely well, had a lifelong relationship with Coach Holtz. But there was a time that he and Steve actually were battling for that quarterback position with Larry Bruno, who had a bunch of Division I quarterbacks, but Steve decided to take, the high road, and his career took a turn as he went to the right side and sometimes the left side of the line of scrimmage as a wide receiver. That story you don't want to miss. Next, and don't forget, this party, this pre-draft party, begins at noon. Hall of Achievement, 7th Avenue. Put it in your GPS. Beaver Falls. It's a road down memory lane that you will remember the rest of your life. We'll be back.
Every Tuesday morning at 7:20, listen for Inside Independence Health, a look at all things healthcare with the experts from Independence Health System. It's brought to you by Independence Health System. Expert care here.
Friends, this is Rob Pratt, joined again by John Diagardi of Rome Monuments. John, we've talked a lot about how families should take some time to mourn before selecting a monument. So why do so many people still rush into it?
Well, we're hearing that some folks are under the false impression that they have to buy a monument right away, and even that they have to buy it directly from the cemetery if they want to make sure it will be protected.
And that's just not the case, right?
Not at all, Rob. Rome can design and install a memorial in any cemetery, and no matter which cemetery you choose, our total protection warranty will always remain in effect.
So basically, people should never be pressured into choosing a memorial right away and are never required to buy it from the cemetery.
That's right, Rob.
Thanks so much, John. And folks, you can learn more at romemonuments.com or visit one of their 9 area showrooms.
April's the perfect time to refresh your home with beautiful custom window treatments from Lacina Drapery and Blind Factory. Lacina makes custom products in their own Pittsburgh factory. 60 years of quality craftsmanship, draperies, blinds, shades, shutters, and upholstery. Low factory direct prices. Go to lacinadrapery.com, shop Lacina's free shop at home service. Visit their showrooms or call 412-665-4900. Lacina Drapery and Blind Factory. Quality you deserve, prices you'll appreciate.
Starting a home improvement project? Before you build a deck, plant a tree, or put up a fence, remember to call 811. Professionals from underground utilities like Peoples will mark your lines with flags so you can dig safely. Whether you're doing the work yourself or hiring a professional, calling 811 before you dig is free for homeowners. And it's the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig to keep you and your family safe. Peoples, an essential utilities company.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. legacybox.com/radio.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Oh, listen, I'll get that first entire segment with Stevie up on my Facebook page so you can all, if you're just tuning in right now, get all the details about what's happening at the Hall of Achievement, 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls on Wednesday prior to the draft, their big draft party. Big thanks to Jim Rooney, so many others. But I do want to take time to mention his classmate, my friend, longtime co-worker, Mike Romai, who's been battling some health issues. And we're thinking about you, Mike. Much love, and you're a class act. Yep, and you've been in my thoughts and prayers every day, so we wish a speedy recovery to you. All right, now you got to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And I don't even know if you were really, I guess, ready to do this, but I think it's important because it's just being a good sport, and this is what you did to help the team. So talk about you and Kevin Scanlon and how it changed his life and it changed your life on the football field forever. Go ahead, Stevie.
Well, okay, I'll tell you the whole story. First of all, Kevin Scanlon was probably the second best quarterback ever to play at Beaver Falls next to Joe. He went to NC State on a scholarship. Lou Holtz recruited him. And when Holtz ended up at Arkansas, Scanlon followed him and he transferred. Kevin ended up being the MVP of the Southwest Conference, it was called back then. and he played Alabama in the Sugar Bowl for the national championship 1979. They lost, but was drafted by the Rams. Great player. Okay. Kevin started out, first of all, 5 houses separated us. We grew up on the same street. I've known him my whole life. Kevin went to St. Mary's, was a great quarterback in grade school. He went to Quigley. Now, his sophomore year, Quigley was a Catholic private school down in Baden, PA. His sophomore year, he was so good, he broke Joe Namath's Beaver County single-season passing record for yardage as a sophomore at Quigley, okay? He went through Joe Namath's football camp that year. Joe Namath seen something in him that he really liked, and he pulled Kevin and his father aside and says, look, you need to play for Coach Larry Bruno. Larry Bruno's the best quarterback coach that ever lived. Now, Namath didn't know me at that time and, was just looking after Kevin. He says, if you want to be a good player, you got to play for Coach Bruno. So Kevin decided he's going to transfer to Beaver Falls, okay? So while all that was happening, I was carving out my own little career. Junior high team in 9th grade, we were the first undefeated team. I was the quarterback. Joe Tronzo's writing articles that the future signal caller coming up for the Tigers. He's going to be a great one. He's all this and all that. The next year, I'm the backup for Mark Cheeto on the number 1 ranked team in the state, Beaver Falls, in 72. We were great that year, and I backed him up the whole year. Now, going into the junior year, here comes Kevin, okay? Well, one of the proudest things, Rob, that I've accomplished a lot of things in sports, but this is actually one of the proudest things. Kevin never could actually beat me out, okay? We battled in camp. And we went through football camp. Now, we had such a good program. You know who our scrimmages were, Rob? Back then in the mid-'70s? Before the season started, we would scrimmage McKeesport.
Wow.
And get our butt kicked every year.
Big.
And we'd scrimmage North Allegheny.
Whoa.
2 big schools, right? They would rough us up. We'd go into the MAC ready for action, right? Well, the first scrimmage against McKeesport, Scanlon did great. He did great. He moved the team up and down. He had the edge on me. We went to North Allegheny the next week. I moved the team. I had a couple touchdowns, okay? Kevin told me later, he told his dad after that scrimmage, he said, Dad, I can't beat him out. I can't beat him out. So what happened was the first game of the season, we played Butler. Coach Bruno was so upset, he flipped a coin before the game to see who would start. That's how close our battle was. I actually won the toss, so I started the game. Kevin played the second half. Rob, we got beat 34-0. We had never had that kind of loss. The whole time I've ever had a Tiger uniform on, we've never lost that bad. We always had a practice Saturday morning after the games. I was so upset, I went into Coach Bruno's office and said, move me to end, put Kevin at quarterback. He jumped up and said, what? Shut the door. Sit down. Sit down. Say that again. I'm going to play end. I know all the plays. You don't have to teach me anything because when you're the quarterback, you know all the plays.
Right.
Put Kevin in at quarterback, and our team will be better. He says, okay, but do me a favor. Don't tell anybody.
There you go.
He wanted to keep the secret because we had a game that week, and he did not want Elwood City to know what was going on.
I love it.
So that's how it happened. Kevin became our quarterback. He ended up, we were 7-1 that year. We had a great year. Now, if we would have won a championship that year, this would have been a really great story. But we ended up 7-1. We both got D1 scholarships. It both ended up great for both of us. We were both ended up great friends over this. Lou Holtz just passed away. Kevin Scanlon was like a son to Lou Holtz. Him and Jerome Bettis were pallbearers for Lou Holtz's wife 5 years ago when she passed.
Right.
And Kevin was at the service this year, and Lou Holtz was like a father to him. And he ended up, he's a great businessman in Arkansas right now, well respected. He does radio broadcasts for Razorback football. And he was even up, they wanted him to be athletic director a couple years ago, but he actually turned it down. I don't want to get into that, but yeah, He was a great player, and him and Lou Holtz were like father son.
All right.
And he would tell me stories about Coach Holtz that I didn't know about East Liverpool.
Amazing. Listen, Big Bash happening. Hall of Achievement begins noon on Wednesday. Go to their magicalcoach.org website. Get all the details. Stevie, you're a gem. Keep up the good work. I'm just a phone call away, okay?
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us on.
All right, stay tuned. New news, and then Coach Barkley will talk the National Football League draft next.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 48 degrees Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 13 people were displaced from their homes this morning after a fire broke out in Allentown. That fire started around 5 o'clock this morning. The main house that caught on fire was unoccupied, but the fire spread to another home. Again, 13 people have been displaced. No injuries were reported. No injuries reported following a house fire in McKees Rocks. That fire broke out Saturday afternoon around 4:45 at a home in the 300 block of Olivia Street. The right side of the home was charred by fire. We now know the identity of the woman who was killed in a shooting in Braddock early Saturday morning. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office identified her as 26-year-old Quinn Vinay. Police say a suspect fired shots at a group of people from across the street around 2 o'clock Saturday morning near Club Elegance in the 800 block of Braddock Avenue. 3 people were shot. Vinay later died. 2 others were transported to the hospital. Police have not publicly identified a suspect as of yet. Well, a person was stabbed after police say that person broke into a home in Brookline. This happened Saturday in the 2700 block of Waddington Avenue. Police say the person broke into a home through a screen door and then punched the homeowner. The homeowner then allegedly stabbed that person in the arm. An investigation revealed that the person who allegedly broke into the home was a neighbor, and it all stemmed over a dispute over money. Both people were taken to the hospital. The person who allegedly broke into the home and was stabbed is facing burglary and assault charges. Well, a surprise at a college football stadium on Saturday. Here's CBS's Michael Toscano.
Under bright blue skies and with a large American flag attached to him fluttering, the skydiver floated over Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. On the field, a Virginia Tech football scrimmage. As people in the stands watched, the course of the unidentified parachutist veered, and he crashed into the giant video screen of the scoreboard. The parachute appeared stuck between the C and the H on the Virginia Tech lettering on top of the scoreboard before first responders rescued him. He's okay. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
KDK Radio News Time coming up on 12:03. Let's get to the AccuWeather forecast next.
Sometimes you discover a product that changes your life. I'm talking about Harmony Organic Insect Control. My fear of a flea and tick infestation is over. Nothing is safer, nothing works better than Harmony. End the painful itching and scratching that torments your pet. Spray Harmony on your pets, your clothing, your sofa curtains, and pillows. Harmony Organic Insect Control also works outside in your garden. Get a case of Harmony. Visit participating True Value hardware stores or online at harmonyoic.com.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
Shopping for replacement windows? Metropolitan Window Company elevates your shopping experience.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you'll experience personalized knowledge, expertise, and professionalism from our first visit to your home until our craftsmen complete your installation.
We're the window company that people want in their homes, and our exclusive Infinity by Marvin 100% fiberglass windows are the windows people love.
They're built for life. They are the strongest, longest-lasting windows you can buy.
And we have a great selection of colors and finishes. Experience Metropolitan Window Company. Stop by our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Tell Good RX Road and hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I'd put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. Call Term Busters for a quote, 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class exam required to qualify. For details, call 1-800-908-7636. Paid for by Robert Livinger, Insurance Agent.
Want a health plan that travels with you? With UPMC Health Plan, you can access care wherever you are. That's access to UPMC doctors and hospitals, local providers, plus urgent and emergency care nationwide through the Cigna Healthcare PPO network. What's more, you get 24/7 access to virtual care. All this with award-winning customer service from their healthcare concierge team. When your employer gives you a choice of health insurance plans, choose UPMC Health Plan.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Windy and cool this afternoon with a mix of clouds and sunshine along with a spotty shower, high 52. A couple of showers around tonight which may mix with some wet snowflakes late, low 33. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Ka Erickson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition. And brought to you by Leon's Billiards and more.
All right, he's back. Metropolitan Window video screen. We have him for 2 more weeks. We really appreciated our time with the former offensive lineman in the National Football League, now doing things with the Seneca Valley football team at the high school out there, and they're looking forward to their season, but off-season workouts underway right now. Coach Donnie Barkley joins us, and I said last week on this show, a offensive lineman, maybe a guard, Ione, the young man, Vega from Penn State, might be at number 21. So, Donnie, before we talk about the big trade that developed last night, giving the Giants 2 first-round picks in the top 10, let's talk about the possibility of the big fella, 6'4", 333 pounds, a real wide body, maybe coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. Yeah, that's the big talk right now. That's the big news. He kind of looks like he'd be the best fit here for the Steelers in that first round. I don't know, Greg. I've been calling this for the past month. They're going to take a lineman, right?
They are not taking an alignment. If they take an alignment, there'll be people down at the draft with pitchforks and torches telling them, we never heard of this. Well, the only good part about it would be he's from Penn State, so there'd be some people that would actually know who he was. But other than that, if they pick an offensive lineman that nobody's ever seen, there's going to be some prices to be paid.
All right, so let's take a look at the big news that developed last night. Adam Scheffner, got to give him credit, the first to report it. He's the best in the business. Giants trading 3-time Pro Bowler defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, who did ask for a trade to the Bengals in a deal that will include the 10th overall pick. So number 5 and number 10 now for the new man, Mr. Harbaugh, with the New York Giants? You first, Greg.
Well, I don't like it because this really helps solidify the Bengals defensively. And with Burrow coming back, this puts them back to the top of the heap or close in the the AFC North, which is not very good news for the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're going to have a lot more ability to get after whoever it is playing quarterback for the Steelers.
Go ahead, Coach. What do you think?
I think it's a great move, honestly. I think, even though you're giving up a first, you know what you're getting in this guy. He's a great player. He wanted to leave that team. I get it. It's that kind of raises some red flags. But at the same breath, he's going to a team that's going to compete for many years. They got guys in place. They obviously got Burrow. This team's going to be even more competitive now, and they're definitely going to make another run here soon. So I think, you get an upside and a great player. Even though it's the first round, sometimes you just don't know what you're getting. And someone like him, he's a heck of a player.
Yeah, Donnie, and especially in a draft that people are talking about, it's a solid draft, but it's not real top heavy with superstars at that real high level. So if you're the Bengals and you can get a guy that is a plug and play, as opposed to a guy that you got a little bit of a maybe kind of thing, even if you're picking him in the top 10, and clearly they don't have somebody that they love. At that top part of the draft, and they got a player that they like a lot, and you got some sorts of cost certainty with it. Probably helps them a little bit more in their planning for the upcoming season.
Correct.
And
I like it a lot.
The other thing that you have with the Bengals is, I know Burrow is probably looked at still as a younger quarterback, but there's still a window that you have with him, and that window can close. We've been talking about Allen at Buffalo, and has that window closed already? Has he kind of aged out? Probably not, but you only have, when you have a superstar quarterback, you only have so much time with him, and you got to give him those weapons around him. I don't know that you necessarily want to be drafting a guy that's a 3 or 4 year project.
No, and I'll say this too. I mean, I definitely don't think the window's closed from those guys, but they're definitely closing. The Bengals, I mean, it's just like every year I watch them. I mean, why do you not invest heavily in the O-line? I mean, it's like every single Sunday you watch him and Burrows drops back and he's running for his life. If you give him, 1 or 2 solid guys to solidify, a run game and some pass pro, that team could be so dangerous. I mean, we saw a couple years ago, what he could do. And it's just every week you go into it with questions like, could he sit back there and get the ball off to these super good athletes?
Here he goes again, Rob. Barkley wants an offensive lineman again. My goodness gracious.
City of Pittsburgh would be so happy. Were they mad when they drafted the Castro? Heck no.
Not after he played, certainly, yeah.
or Alan Faneca. So let me ask you something. Why, if I were a big fella who had the 6'4" frame at Seneca Valley, maybe didn't have a whole lot of athletic skills. I wasn't running a 4.40 or a 40-inch vertical leap, but I thought about I love the game so much that I want to play maybe on the line. Somebody can actually coach me up. I'd be the first one doing the physical to play for you, because let me tell you why. I've seen Bill Chirpek, who was an offensive lineman at Pitt, do the exact same thing at Thomas Jefferson, how he has created so many incredibly talented offensive linemen who've gone on to play at the next level because of his skill set. So I'm not going to ask you to pat yourself on the back, but right now you're looking to the future, in the weight room, thinking about the upcoming season that'll be here before you know it. And one thing's for sure, if you can play the offensive line at the D1 level, a lot of name, image, and likeness money coming your way. And if you can make it in the pros, you're going to get a big bag of money. So let's talk about the offensive line position and why it once again now is the steak that sizzles. And you can hear that sizzle all throughout the National Football League as we count down to the NFL draft. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, first of all, it's the building blocks of the team. Someone like Chirpek, you look at all his teams that were successful over the years, they have had so many guys that have gone on to play at the Division II, Division I level as far as linemen. So that just, you could put anyone back there to kind of run the ball. It's nice when you have a gadget or two on the outside to mask that guy. But you go down to any of these teams. I mean, that's where I'm, and I don't even know if it's like the today's day and age, but some of these guys too, like they want to be the skill guy. They want to be skinny. I know the healthy lifestyle. So you don't get many of these big guys, I feel like, nowadays. And it's something to be said. I mean, we're pushing for more linemen, even at a 6A school. We want more and more linemen. The bigger you are, faster you are, the more dangerous you are. And they're hard to find now, I feel like.
They are.
But yeah, they're valuable. And like you said too, with this NIL, I mean, heck, even the centers, the guards, obviously tackles, they're getting paid now. It's not just the receivers and running backs and QBs.
Donnie, it's kind of cool that in the WPIL you got at least three guys, yourself, Chirpak, and you got Matt Morgan out at Plum, who were, really significant offensive linemen at the collegiate level, and with yourself having more of a pro career than either of the two of them, but all three of you guys really establishing solid careers at the high school coaching level after having learned usually you hear more about the backup quarterback becoming the football coach, but you guys have been able to kind of cut a certain path for yourselves in the WPIAL.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty awesome to be in the talks of those guys, and both those guys you mentioned did a heck of a job so far. I think it's also just surrounding yourself, with a heck of a coaching staff. Obviously, us guys can't do it all, but we got to set the foundation, the roots. And I think that helps out a lot when you got some linemen in there. It's not all about the quarterback, like you said, Greg. They don't got all the brains. We got some over here.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
And some of them, you guys got some pretty good looks too. I got to tell you that much.
Hey, before we let you go, and we'll keep you next week as well, and looking forward to your final show. You've been really great to us. So what's going on with your football team right now? Obviously, I know there are certain guidelines and rules you have to follow, but they're pumping the iron. They're doing what they need to do. And, hey, it'll be here before you know it. So timeline, Seneca Valley football, and maybe a word to maybe a future player out there. Parents may be listening today, or maybe they're listening and they're saying, you know what, I may want to buy into that program. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, my whole thing, I have a lot of pride for coming back here to Seneca Valley. I'm obviously alumni here, and kids are growing up here. So it means maybe a lot more to me than it would be someone else to come and coach at any school. We don't have the richest tradition here. I'm trying to build something and create something that's pretty, contagious. Just, a team, a lot of energy. Guys want to spend a lot of time down at this building. And kind of just make it infectious. I mean, we had a good group of kids last year. We were one game shy of the playoffs, but we had a heck of a season, just kind of turning around our whole philosophy, getting guys to buy in. We had a great win at the end of the season, our last game against North Allegheny, and it kind of is propelling us into the offseason here. We got a good young group. I'm telling you, over the next 2 years, we'll be really, really good, and these guys are really buying in. Just a little bit of what we've been doing this winter is a lot of weight room. I got a hell of a strength coach here, Ben Carey. He's actually a guy that knows and really knowledgeable about that room, spending 4 years with a Penn State football team for 2 years and 2 years with the basketball team. So it really helps out when he sets the standards in there to flow out to the practice field. But we'll be kicking off here in about a month from now at mini camp, and then transition the summer workouts, some 7-on-7s, and then pretty soon, we'll be in August camp.
Well, maybe you can let Greg and I come out one Friday night, roam the sidelines, and just hang out with you a little bit. That'd be kind of cool.
I'd love that.
Be nice.
For sure.
Kind of a throwback for me. I spent a lot of my life doing it, and I miss it from time to time. All right, I do. All right, listen, Coach, thanks. We'll catch up with you next week, okay?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, Don.
All right. Being that you had to take your dad home from church, you missed Joe Giordano, so I will give you a chance to focus on your Pittsburgh Pirates when we come back. Greg Diolis before Ted Arnaud steps up. And yet it all begins for real Thursday night in the city of Pittsburgh, the National Football League Draft.
When you need to talk, we're here for you. Always have been. News Radio KDKA.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of adults, both men and women, suffer from varicose or spider veins. And this is not just a cosmetic problem. If left untreated, varicose veins can lead to severe swelling, cramping, heavy bleeding, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, permanent paralysis, and worst case, blood clots, which can be life-threatening. But here's the good news. USA Vein Clinics offer plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up the problem. And the procedure is fast and simple. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-452-0119. That's 800-452-0119. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your varicose vein problems will not go away on their own. Call USA Vein Clinics today for free information on fast and easy solutions covered by most insurance, including Medicare. Call 800-452-0119. That's 800-452-0119. Call 800-452-0119 today.
I never thought of myself as the type to settle down. Never knew where the team's next lunch was coming from. But then I met you, Easy Cater.
Workplaces everywhere are saying, I do want delicious food at work. And they're ordering from beloved restaurants with Easy Cater.
You were reliable. You had great options for every budget, even when marketing ops did keto again. We got through that together. With you, it's just so easy. Easy Cater, will you keep showing up at my workplace forever?
Find love at first lunch. Order at easycater.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, for the post-game report over the last couple of days of your Pittsburgh Pirates, we go to Greg Diolis, who's just adjacent to me here in our palatial studios in Green Tree of KDKA. So go ahead, your Pirates.
A little concerned. We've let a few games sneak away from us of recent. Little concerned with not to call out individuals who make mistakes, but when you're a professional, we can talk about that. Tony Beasley's having a little bit of a rough time coaching third base this year. He's misread at least two should have sent home type plays that involved O'Neal Cruz on both of them. And really, cost the Bucks a couple of games, a couple of wins. So we got to get a little bit more of a heads up from the third base coaching, in my opinion. Should have been sending home, and then he held up a runner the other day. Cruz he held up too, but then he sent home. I want to say it was. Horowitz got Horowitz thrown out at home plate by 20 feet. Just poor coaching. So we got to get him a little bit more of a heads up. Yesterday's game a little bit disappointing. You get Skeens out there, gets off the hook in the second inning. He had bases jammed. Gets a base running blunder by the Rays where they interfere with Horowitz trying to field a ground ball. So they get all the runners get reset, and then we get out of the jam. So who would have thought an inning in which you had a catcher's interference to put a runner on base and then a runner's interference that took runners off of a base. Skeens got out of that inning with no damage, and then the rains came and screwed everything up because Skeens could not return to the mound. They give up a 5-run top of the fifth, come back, many chances to win that game in extra innings and just couldn't get the deal done. Had bases jammed, one out, didn't get a run across. Tough loss yesterday.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't like losing any games, but when you lose some of the games the way they've lost them, you just kind of think what could have been, what should have been. But isn't it amazing when you think of Milwaukee, Chicago, the heritage and tradition of St. Louis, how quickly Terry Francona has got Cincinnati heading in the right direction, too.
Yeah, our whole division's 11-8, 10-8. I mean, it's amazing. Everybody's above 500. A very competitive division right now, but you're right. Francona did get them right in a hurry.
Lau, what do you think?
I love him. Absolutely love him. He's just killing the ball the way he produces, and he's a really good defender. Very solid at second base. You can't complain about that guy at all. Really, Ben Cherington looks like a genius with O'Hearn, with Lau, and Ozuna is coming alive a little bit now.
Yes, he is.
So, those three acquisitions really making Cherington look like a genius.
What about Donnie Kelly?
Like him.
Go ahead.
He had a little bit of troubles here and there, a couple of moves, couple of decisions as to who to put into games, and then the selection of who we put in. We just bring a guy up from the minor leagues yesterday and bring him in to start the fifth inning after the rain delay, and just got us pounded. Didn't look like a great decision. So just a little bit concerned about his handling of pitchers and who he's bringing in, things of that nature. But for the most part, and I do like his style. I do like that very much.
All right, so Connor Griffin, a bit of a blunder in the outfield. Looked like me throwing the baseball when I was in 10th grade trying to figure it out.
The guy stepped on him, though. I mean, you probably could have been an argument there that was interference in today's game. In the old days, he would have got plastered and wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, he had a bad one. Reynolds had a spiked one a couple of days ago. But the one that Connor Griffin was a 3-run error. Just like the had a guy picked off yesterday and get an error from Santana, or not Santana, from Ramirez that cost us. So a little bit of sloppiness that needs to get cleaned up. But that's baseball.
So what do you make of the bullpen? Obviously, it needs to tighten up a little bit.
I think they've been okay. I mean, it's the longer relief guys, those middle inning type guys that have been hurting them more. I like Montgomery. Lawrence is a guy I think not a big fan. So we'll see what will happen.
All in all, though, O'Neal Cruz, this is what we expect offensively. Or
exactly, right? You're getting an all-star performer at the plate, and you still got to find a place for him to play. Maybe he can get better. I think he's got 12 errors already in center field, leading the league. That's a little bit worrisome.
Well, that was just in a stance trying to get a beer the other day. No, he'll be okay. But man, is it not nice to watch him swing the bat?
Oh, it's fun to talk about the Pirates, and we're nitpicking, trying to find things that are going wrong. But they're in the hunt. They're close to first place. They were in first place, So I'm okay with where we are right now. I'm happy.
Some of the teams that they've been playing. What do you make of this Tampa Bay team?
They can be exciting. I like what they've got. They got some speed. That Simpson kid that leads off for them, man, can he run? Unbelievable. Hit that ball off of Bubba Chandler's glove the other day, and he was safe by 3 steps.
See, what this team needs to do, they're taking on Texas beginning Tuesday, Texas 11-10. They've got to beat the teams they should beat and be competitive with teams in the division. Then they've got Milwaukee. So I know it's early. We haven't even gotten through April yet. But
you know who we get to see Tuesday, don't you?
Okay.
McCutchen.
My man Andrew.
I wish he was coming here. I wish he was in Pittsburgh.
He's not doing too bad.
I don't know. I know he struggled the last.
Yeah. But hey, he made the big league team, and nobody thought that was possible.
I know.
But here's what's even more.
Man, I hope the Pirates win 10-8, and he has 8 RBIs.
He's 39 years old. I just keep thinking he was like 28, 27. That's like hard to believe. Mitch Keller going today. What do we need Mitch to do today besides win? Obviously,
just be Mitch. Give us 6 strong innings. The bullpen got beat up a little bit. If he could get you a 7th inning, that would be wonderful. Keep us in a ball game, and we'll be all right.
So what about who should be your everyday catcher?
Henry Davis. Barth got to
see ya.
Yeah, it's time to bring up Endy or the kid that we got from the Yankees last year.
But I think Skeens likes Henry Davis. I think he really.
Yeah, that's his guy. That's Jeff John Candelaria's Duffy Dyer. Wherever Skeens goes, he's going to keep him around.
Duffy Dyer. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. It's NFL to the top of the hour. NFL draft days away. KDKA.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding, with an exciting opportunity.
Normally, Larry, we offer $500 off any complete roofing and siding replacements. For our spring promotion, we're offering an additional $500 off.
Joe, that's $1,000.
That's right, Larry.
You better call today. The roofing experts, JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711, 412-829-7711. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
When a medical injury, misdiagnosis, or neglect in a nursing home turns your life upside down, your family deserves attorneys with decades of complex trial experience. At Massa Law Group, local Pittsburgh attorneys concentrate their practice to helping medical and nursing home injury victims. Their team listens, lays out your options clearly, and will pursue the justice your family deserves. Licensed in PA, Ohio, and West Virginia, visit massalawgroup.com or call 412-338-3388. 1800.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than getting stuck in an elevator with an overshare,
bean burrito for lunch.
You have Insuranoia. You should have NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 48 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office has ruled the death of a 2-year-old girl a homicide. Sarah Dargy was found unresponsive on April 7th at a home in a 100 block of McClellan Drive in Pleasant Hills. She died at UPMC Children's Hospital 3 days later. Medical examiner said Dargy died from ligature compression of the neck. That's a type of strangulation. No charges have been filed, but Allegheny County police are investigating. 13 people were displaced this morning and into the afternoon from their homes after a fire broke out this morning in Allentown. Fire started around 5 o'clock this morning. The main house that caught on fire was unoccupied, but it spread to another home. Again, 13 people were displaced. No injuries, though, were reported. KDKA Radio News Time is 12:31. Our next update's at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDKA.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-265-7681. 800-265-7681. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-265-7681.
The popularity of cremation is on the rise. Unfortunately, so is the cost. I'm Dustin D'Alessandro, supervisor and funeral director. To keep the costs down, the Thomas M. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory Limited in Blawnox and the D'Alessandro Funeral Home and Crematory Limited in Lawrenceville have on-site crematories. By performing the cremation on-site without losing custody of the remains, our funeral homes can defray those costs and pass the savings on to you. Our fee for a direct cremation is only $1,250. This low-cost, direct cremation offer is available to all residents of Allegheny County. Surrounding counties will incur a slight additional fee based on mileage. Contact us with questions or to schedule an appointment by calling the Blawnox office at 412-828-5700 or our Lawrenceville office at 412-682-6500. Our websites are thomasmsmithfuneralhome.com and DeLisandroLTD.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
A passing shower or two this afternoon, otherwise clouds and sunshine, windy and cool, high 52. Mostly cloudy tonight with a couple of showers, even a snow shower later on, low 33. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Ka Erickson, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, get through the weekend, be back on Monday. But, yeah, when we launch on Monday, it'll be draft week. So I'll catch you then on Monday. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6, KDK.
All right, here we go. Final two segments of the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Mr. Ted Arnaud is in the building, and Greg, you begin.
Hey, Teddy, good morning to you.
Morning, guys. Good to be here.
So as we get closer to the draft and everybody's, concerned, did you happen to see that the Giants made a big move to get themselves up into the first round more substantially?
Yeah, I did see that. It's here. I think that's just the start of more to come.
Yeah, it's interesting because, with the Giants, I think that they seem to be in a position where, new coach in position, figuring we're going to have to build. It's going to be a process, and so they want to get some young guys in that they know they can sort of not necessarily build around, but build with. And so it's fun to see these teams that are in that situation of hey, it's a little bit of a process. We're going to get young.
Yeah, and you have to wonder where the Steelers fit in all that process, because they're kind of a betwixt and between, and I would love to see them make those kinds of moves.
Yeah, you're tired of getting in just a middle of the pack kind of mentality, and yeah, you get in the playoffs, but you're not really causing anything to happen. It might be more fun to take some shots. They've got 12 picks. You know that they can't necessarily. If you pick all 12, you're not going to have all 12 make your roster. It appears that the only position that is up for grabs as far as a starting position is potentially quarterback and the left guard position. Everywhere else, they have a starter installed, and it's not like somebody's going to knock a starter out of a spot. So with 12 picks, you'd think maybe they can bottle some of them together and get up higher, but maybe not necessarily into the first round.
Yeah, maybe not in the first round, but they're not going to have 12 great picks. But if they could bundle them up and come up with 4 or 5 really, really good picks, I think that's a better way to go.
Yeah, I love that idea of saying, hey, if we can convert, even if we turn half of what we have into 6 better spots, I'd rather have that.
Teddy, they keep talking in all these mock drafts about, that 21 pick. If it isn't an offensive lineman, we've been talking about the young man from Penn State. By the way, is it Sasic, the offensive lineman from Central Catholic? He committed to Penn State. And that's just kind of breaking news recently. So we got a big guy, 6'6", 285, was headed to Happy Valley. I wish he would have went to Oakland, but neither here nor there. But kind of in the conversation in which we were talking to former offensive lineman, of course, now the head football coach at Seneca Valley, Donnie Barclay, moments ago. So if they don't go after an offensive lineman, why are all these people still talking about the possibility of getting a wide receiver? And there's a lot of names being mentioned, from Boston and Stribling to Bernard and Hurst. Why would that even be a thought process for the Steelers? Could it mean they're going to do something with DK, or they don't have someone like your guy Roman Wilson who's going to be able to be that third receiver? Why would they still be talking wide receiver, the Steelers? Teddy?
Yeah, you just don't know how much of that's a head fake. I think I like Roman Wilson. I think he's got a chance. I don't see that as being one of their prime needs right now with what they've got. They might need a third, somebody to hop on and be part of that third. They really need to be looking at, okay, what are we going to do with the third running back situation? But until they solve that left side of the line, I don't think they really can do much. That's got to be solved.
Teddy, what are you feeling this for as far as this quarterback situation? Do you think they need to know going into the draft if Rodgers is going to be back, or is it one of those things where they're okay with just playing it by feel and not worrying about addressing the quarterback in the draft? Because really, the only way you're going to get the superstar quarterback is there's only one, and you're not going to be able to get up high enough to get to him.
Go ahead, Ted.
No. I agree. I think they're going to have to just play it by ear. Rodgers has kind of kept them at a point where they can't really make a move because they can't make a big enough move to make it worthwhile. And any other move they make is going to fit into what they already have. So I think they're better off looking elsewhere, see what happens with Rodgers, and maybe looking at one of the veterans to trade if things don't go well.
Have they announced who's going to announce the Steelers pick in the first round? Do we know that yet?
I know John Stallworth is going to pick one of the rounds, but other than that, I do not know.
Huh.
I thought Hines Ward was coming in, but is he for the other? Is he for the team he's with right now?
No. He's coming in town, but I don't know exactly. He may be here to do a pick, but I know that there's James Conner is coming back for Arizona's pick. He went to the University of Pittsburgh, played high school football in Erie, so that's happening. Do you think Aaron Rodgers, in the back of his mind, could be waiting to see if the Steelers do trade up and get a Ty Simpson or they do get a quarterback? Allers was in town recently, the Penn State grad who's coming off of an injury. Carson Beck recently talked to the Steelers. Do you think at this stage in his career he's waiting to see if they do take a quarterback, or he's not even thinking about that, Teddy?
My opinion, he's not even thinking about that because it really doesn't matter who they take. If he comes back, he's going to be your starter.
All right, so why would the Steelers be thinking about possible offensive linemen as in tackle? Don't they have two guys that they owe at least maybe another season to see if they're seasoned enough, in particular Broderick Jones?
Well, you'd think they actually have three because the kid that subbed in for Broderick Jones last year. So really, it doesn't feel like tackle is a position of need to me. But I guess when you think about it, Teddy, tackle's always a position of need, right? I mean, you can never have enough.
You can't have too many. You look at how these guys go by the wayside at some point during the year. Almost invariably, you have a major injury. I mean, these guys are 350 pounds smacking against each other. You're going to have some injuries. So you almost can't have too many good ones.
I was looking at a picture I had from when Paris Johnson got selected in the draft a couple of years ago, and he's got his arm around me, and I look like a small person as compared to the rest of it. I was like, holy cow.
All right, let's talk about some other things concerning our Steelers. What about Joey Porter? I mean, where is he on the timeline? We asking too much, or is he right where he should be, or does he have to have a big year? Because I keep thinking we're talking about Herbig of late. We've been talking about Cam Hayward. We've been talking about T.J. Watt being 31 years of age. Alex Highsmith maybe on the trading block. But I keep going back to Joey Porter. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you're at a position where you're probably going to hear about there being a contract extension during this offseason with him to just solidify him. I really think he's going to be one of the premier cornerbacks in the league. He's very good. He's got all the length that you need, the speed, the good hips and all the stuff. Everybody complains about him getting too many penalties, but I don't think that's really costing you games. I think he's very close to being one of those shutdown corners that you don't ever have to worry about because nobody's throwing the ball his way.
All right, another question for you, Teddy. New special teams coach, new defensive coordinator. There's a lot of new coaches in this organization. What do you make of that? Go ahead.
I think it's exciting. I think we needed to shake things up. I think the special teams coach, you got to give him his day. We were running out of chewing gum for the, you just can't keep that up. So I'm excited about the new coaches as much as I will be about the players. I think it's going to be fun to watch them.
Yeah, I had a chance to hear a little bit of Brian Angelico, who is the new offensive coordinator, and really, I guess that's kind of a coordinator in name only, because really McCarthy's his own coordinator. But I think he is the type of guy who's open for some contribution from his staff. And so I think you'll see Coach Angelico kind of growing into the position as the year wears on, and he could, as part of this process goes, because we know Coach McCarthy's not going to be there forever. It could be one of those things where maybe they're grooming Angelico to be the next head coach ultimately.
All right, so we'll take a look at the second possibility as far as round 2, and then the third round. Steelers have a pick in each of the first 4, 12 overall, and of course all the names become a reality this coming Thursday night. So, Teddy, business matrix real quick. That's something we always appreciate your opinion. I'm hearing massive crowds, sell out, then starting to creep in. 60% of the hotels are occupied. What do you really think is going to happen, and how will it benefit business in the city we call Pittsburgh? Go ahead.
Well, I think you're going to have an immediate impact on the business. You're going to have crowds. But I think a lot of the businesses are going to have residual business when it's done if they do a good job. I think, downtown's going to explode. I just love it. I like, Corey O'Connor's going to see his city blossom here this weekend. And I think the way everybody's planning for it, I think there's going to be some residual effect to that.
I'll tell you one thing. If you use yesterday as a gauge with getting around in cars, it's not easy. I mean, we were trying to drive to my parking space yesterday, and I got redirected 32 different ways from Sunday just to get to the lot that I was parking at the Pirate game. So hopefully that's all going to get adjusted. But, folks, use some public transportation.
All right, short break. We'll come back. One more segment, Ted. I know by the time we get together next week, it'll be all said and done as far as the first few days. And it'll be kind of those lower rounds that we'll be looking at. But we're definitely going to be focusing on who the Steelers take early on Thursday and Friday. The NFL Draft, the biggest brand in all of sports, coming to Pittsburgh this Thursday. Stay with us.
Concerned about traveling during the upcoming draft? Don't be. KDKA Radio and AAA Traffic have you covered. We'll expand our draft coverage with all-day traffic reports on your radio and your social media feeds. It's brought to you by AAA Travel. Travel with someone you trust. And by 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 20% and get financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Pittsburgh's very own board-certified and licensed hypnotherapist Dan Vitchoff of the PA Hypnosis Center is here to help you. He has helped train U.S. Olympic team members control their brains, stay relaxed, focused, and in control, giving them the edge for the gold. He's recognized by many organizations around the world as one of the top hypnotherapists anywhere. He has gotten over 3,000 people to give up cigarettes for good in the last 22 years. He's helped folks even who've tried gastric bypass to lose weight. He can help you and give you a 98% success guarantee. Call 724-934-8446. That's Dan Vitchoff, the PA Hypnosis Center. Mention KDKA and get $50 off any program. But call for a free consultation today, 724-934-8446. The PA Hypnosis Center with Dan Vitchoff. Make that call today, 724-934-8446.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Viant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Presented by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, let's do the deep dive now on what lies ahead for the Steelers after they get past pick 21. So, Teddy, what are they going to be looking for second, third, and fourth round and beyond? What do you think? Go ahead.
Well, I think they try and shore up the line even more, get a couple of guys who can step in, not starters, but step in and do a decent job. I think middle linebacker, they're going to be looking at some of that. Obviously, they're going to look for a receiver. They don't know where they are for sure on that. So I think, they really don't need that many positions, but they need a lot of shoring up.
Yeah, Teddy, it seems like, those guys after day one, you're looking for depth pieces. The guys that are going to come in and that you can lean on and you don't get embarrassed by them if they have to play. But you get them in, you groom them a little bit, maybe get some special teams contributions from them so that you kind of round out your roster. But it's kind of strange because, like we said, there's only one starting position available. There's probably really only about 7, maybe 8 roster spots available.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to perform. And I think you made a great point. Special teams is where you can really shine and get a position because you figure all of those 7 roster spots they may be looking to really fill. Almost all of them are going to play on special teams one way or another unless you're a tackle. But they're going to have a lot of special teams needs.
You're right, Ted. Because of the roster limit that you have in the NFL, if you're getting a uniform, the 1 or 2 guys that probably aren't going to contribute on special teams are going to be your reserve offensive linemen, your O linemen's number 6, 7, and 8. But other than that, everybody else better be able to have a helmet on and get out there and contribute in some fashion.
All right, so the quarterback is still that big question mark, and we're going to have to wait and see about Aaron. Everybody wondering about Will Howard, Mason Rudolph's future. And we've talked about Beck and Drew Aller, and you name it, we've talked about him, Ty Simpson. What about a guy second or third round because he has no more eligibility, Trinidad Chambliss? Do you see something like that maybe even being considered by the Steelers? He, of course, most recently of Mississippi.
I thought he got another year. Didn't he get granted another year?
No.
Oh, I love that kid.
Okay, so Teddy, what about Trinidad Chambliss?
Yeah, I think they're going to need a spot along those lines. And if he can contribute, I'm always worried about injuries. If he can contribute in a third roster spot, you got to look at somebody like that.
Okay, let's talk about the big story, and it is the physical size. We talk about Will Howard. We've talked about Josh Allen for years, but now he's going into his 9th year. We were doing a little bit of a comparison as far as some of the Steelers' top draft picks, something that the Post-Gazette was doing. Obviously, Big Ben was in the mix. Do you believe Nussmeier is under 6'3", Ty Simpson's under 6'3", a lot of these guys, Trinidad Chambliss, I just mentioned him, he's under 6'3", Carson Beck around 6'3", 6'3.5". Do you believe to play in the National Football League and to be able to be a stable quarterback that has longevity, do you have to be over 6'3"? You have to be 6'4", 6'5", carrying about 235 to 40 pounds. Does that make any sense to you at all, Greg?
I don't think that's a necessary aspect of playing quarterback is to be that height. I think you need to be a substantial enough guy that you can take a hit. Playing quarterback at 180 pounds, I don't think gets it done anymore.
Teddy, go ahead.
No, I agree. I agree exactly with what Greg said. I don't think that's a benchmark that you can't go below, but I think you've got to have other qualities, and I think being tough's one of them. These guys take a lot of hits, and having that 6'5" quarterback, got one of those, and at this point he doesn't seem to have broken through to a starting position. He may this year. But I think you need to have athleticism as much as anything else.
Yeah, Teddy, especially like you're talking about in Pittsburgh, right? So you got to have a quarterback who's got some mobility, some shake about him. If you look at what Mike McCarthy has been able to coach, it's been an Aaron Rodgers and it's been Dak Prescott, and those guys that show you, now they are, Prescott particularly is a substantial body, but he also has that ability to get outside the pocket and make things happen when a play breaks down.
Yeah, and I think that becomes just as key as the big body, that maneuverability, and that also adds to your longevity. If you can avoid taking that big hit because of your athleticism, that helps you and not only make the team, stay on the team.
Right.
Coaching, Mike McCarthy, what excites you and what are you curious to see whether or not he still has what it takes? You first, Greg.
Offense. I like offense. I like to watch lots of points get scored. I like to watch the ball in the air. The old Arthur Smith, let's run the ball 70% of the time. That to me is not exciting football. I'd rather see it up in the air, moving it around, and I think that's what we're going to get with Mike McCarthy.
And what kind of has you curious, wondering if he still can he actually mentor maybe a young quarterback? Does he still have the ability to communicate with them?
I don't think he has to. He's going to bring Aaron Rodgers back. He doesn't have to mentor any young guys.
Do you think him coming here, Ted, that was pretty much a foregone conclusion, and we're wasting time wondering whether or not, by them signing Mike McCarthy, that pretty much solidified another year or possibly two for Aaron Rodgers?
I do believe that. That doesn't make it fact, but I do believe that. And I think Greg's right. I think that's why you see him staying so pat on the quarterback position and what they're taught. They may do a head fake every now and then, but I think that really set the table.
Well, let me ask you, because you were the first to really talk to me about Omar Khan and his ability to be a strategist and, deal with the cap. Because he's got 12 picks, the most they've had since 1999, would you be shocked if they traded up in the first round?
I wouldn't be shocked to see them trade picks for a player, not necessarily a draft pick. There could be a body out there that they like. It could be that, another number 2 wide receiver, so it's 2A. Or something along those lines, or get an offensive lineman to plug in and be that plug-and-play left guard. So I don't think that you necessarily have to limit draft pick for draft pick trade. You could have draft pick for player trade.
Ted, could you do this in a minute, please? A lot of teams now, yesterday the Bengals did it, have more than one pick in the first round. You've got the Cowboys, you've got the Jets, you've got the Bengals. Is this another indication of what have you done for me lately and you have to win now in the National Football League? Go ahead, quickly.
I think absolutely. You've got to get the good players top. The later draft picks, if you can deal them out and get more number 1, 2, 3s, you're better off.
Teddy, let me put you on alert. You got a full hour next week, so we'll call you at noon, okay?
You got it.
All right. Greg, what's on the menu?
We're going ravioli today.
Oh, big, like tablespoon-sized ravioli?
Well, we don't make them from home. Whatever is frozen in the Coons freezer case, brother.
Well, then you know it's the best. All right, stay with us. Back tomorrow night. Back the rest of the week, 6 to 10. I hope you join me. Headlines of the day and much more. Stick around. Lots more great programming today right here. KDKA 100.1 FM, AM 1020.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor, very atypical with the NFL draft and all the things that are going on.
We're all excited. It's coming fast. But we also want Pittsburghers, and I say this wherever I go, this is also your city, this is your draft. We're going to have hundreds of thousands of people coming from across the country, but we want Pittsburghers to be ambassadors.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for moms.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I'll put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. Call Term Busters for a quote, 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class, exam required to qualify. For details, call 1-800-908-7636. Paid for by Robert Livinger, Insurance Agent.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA, covered by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company. Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 47 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 13 people were displaced from their homes after a fire broke out this morning in Allentown. Fire began around 5 o'clock. Main house that caught on fire was unoccupied. Another home did catch on fire. Again, 13 people were displaced. No injuries were reported. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office ruled the death of a 2-year-old girl a homicide. Sarah Dargy was found unresponsive on April 7th at a home in a 100 block of McClellan Drive in Pleasant Hills. She died at UPMC Children's Hospital 3 days later. Medical examiner said Dargy died from ligature compression of the neck. That's a type of strangulation. No charges have been filed as of yet. Allegheny County Police, though, are investigating. Well, the woman who died in a shooting in Braddock early Saturday morning has been identified. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office identified her as 26-year-old Quinn Vinay. Police say a suspect fired shots at a group of people from across the street around 2 o'clock Saturday morning near Club Elegance in the 800 block of Braddock Avenue. 3 people were shot. Vinay later died. 2 others were transported to the hospital. Police have yet to identify publicly a suspect. United Airlines flight from Chicago to New York made a diversion to the Pittsburgh International Airport Saturday morning due to a, quote, possible security issue. When the plane landed around 11:45, many passengers quickly evacuated via emergency slides. There were 159 passengers and 6 crew members on board. FBI Pittsburgh office sent its Special Agent Bomb Techs and special agents to the scene. Allegheny County Police Bomb Squad said its explosive ordnance disposal team and canines conducted a sweep of the plane, passengers, and luggage with negative results. No injuries